Hey, welcome back to the channel. This is my entire knife collection, drawer 6. And so this my collection's kind of big. I can't get it all in on one video, and so I'm doing it by drawers so that you, the viewer, can experience it in a fairly concise way. So if you'd like to see more of these knives, there are 75 of them. Go ahead and check out the video. So, walking tree.
Uh-huh. Remember how they pick up the hobbits in the scary forest
Uh-huh.
and carry them?
This tree is absolutely massive. Massive. Hey, welcome back to the Fortified Castle. Hi to all my viewers. Bonjour, privet, guten tag, hola, ciao, konnichiwa, and good day, mate, to my foreign viewers. And so I appreciate you guys putting up with that. But 50% of my viewers come from outside the United States. So that's just my little way of acknowledging them. And I really appreciate all my viewers. But today we're talking about drawer 6 in the my knife collection, and so that is drawer 6 is Schrades. It's one of my fullest collections, sub collections of knives, and it spans all the different histories of Schrade. So I have Schrade Cutlery Company, I have Schrade Walden, Imperial Schrade, Taylor brands is represented here, as well as when Smith & Wesson bought them. So I divide that into 4 distinct periods. And let's go ahead and look at a few of these. So this is a Schrade clasp knife here. Really, I really like. I'm not a big Stagalon fan, but I really like this. It's Uncle Henry brand. This knife produced in China by Smith & Wesson. And of course, they're trying to bring some production back to the United States. And man, those are just tremendous values. This one right here, I've never seen a Granddaddy Barlow produced by Schrade at any other time. So I'm not seeing any in any of the listings, but they produced this as a special John Deere production knife. Of course, they're doing that now, but they didn't back then. And so this is a pretty interesting knife here. A nice Barlow. And this is a rope knife. They produce these rope knives for a long time, but this one actually has Wall Rope Company, which is one of the biggest in the United States, and had a huge factory. And that, I think that's pretty cool. You know, there's the Schrade Walden stamp on there. Model number's missing off of this. Here's another unique knife right here. This is a whittling knife. Now, Patty Taylor Peelers had told me this does not do such a hot job. But I've never tried this. There's 6 whittling blades here for woodworking. And I thought it was a really neat idea. I actually bought this to do woodworking and then never got around to it. Pretty cool little knife though. As you look at these knives, there's only a couple times a pattern is repeated. So that's up here. This knife right here is a, what do they call this pattern? 93? What is it? It's a 293 pattern. So this is their trapper pattern. And this is the open stock trapper pattern right there. And it's repeated right here. This is National Knife Collectors Association knife. This is one of the best Schrades. It's probably the best Schrade I have in my collection. It is awesome. This is a well-made knife. Really cool. But that pattern is repeated there. And then I have a Minuteman series. And these are, I believe, the 34 OTs is what they made those on. But there's 3 of those. So, and that's, part of a series they did. Different emblems. And so that's repeated. Every other knife here is an individual pattern number. So there are some really scarce knives in this collection. This is genuine mother of pearl, and Schrade only made genuine mother of pearl. Schrade Walden, Imperial Schrade, only made genuine mother of pearl in 2 patterns. This pattern right here, and also in the I think this is 863. I'm not sure. Nah, that can't be right. Come on, snap in there. It doesn't have a pattern on it, but they did it in a lobster pattern, and also they had one more pattern that they had with mother of pearl. I still need to get that. Well, a lot of cool knives in here. I mean, this is their Jim Bowie commemorative issue. It's a 880 pattern. Really nice, cool, interesting pattern. I don't know what's on there. What is that? Boy, something got on there. I gotta clean that off. Yeah, these are Jim Taylor produced knives when he bought Schrade. The trademarks for Schrade, black lip mother of pearl there, and really, really neat looking knife. Here's another one, and I have more Schrades. I have them in different places. So some of these Schrades, of course, like other companies, produce knives for other companies. And so some of them I have with the other company. Like I have some made for Jim Parker, and they're in the Jim Parker collection. And so, they're kind of spaced around. These are not all of my Schrades, but they're most of them. And this one right here, this is really interesting knife. I didn't even know this knife existed. This is a regular size Barlow right here, and this is a baby Barlow. And so it's a 212B. I don't know whether B stands for baby, but little tiny Barlow. And man, I just never seen one. So I do have some pretty scarce ones. This is a pattern that is a come on, Mike, cattle knife pattern. Just beautiful. Just a beautiful knife. Good geometry in this thing, and really good shape on this knife. Schrade Walden 856 pattern, and you just don't see that every day. Here's some really cool ones. This is an 809M, stands for Marine. That's Marine Pearl. And if you flip it over, it has beautiful milling on it. They did a superb job on this too. 2 different types of milling on this. The divider is milled at different than the edges, but it's just phenomenal. Oh, come on, there. Look at that, where it merges with the bolster there. Just really nice. And then this pattern here, 820. I think they only made this 1 year. And it's kind of rare. And then again, it has the milling pattern on it. You don't see a lot of that on Schrade knives. They made a few of them. Over here, yeah, move over here. These are all Schrades Cutlery Company, the original company, except for this one. I don't think this was a Schrades Walden. Yeah. All of these right here are original Schrades Cutlery Company knives. Really nice jackknife here, two-bladed jackknife from Schrades Cutlery Company. And of course, Albert Bear bought the company in 1946. And in the Schrades Walden, he changed the name. So Schrades Walden are from 1947 to 1973. And then they changed the pattern to just Schrades. And that's the Imperial Schrades days. Yeah, that's just a beautiful utility knife right there. Kind of different. Not many American companies did this. Put the corkscrew on the back. Really nice. This is one of my favorites. Just a beautiful celluloid. I call this lava. Is what it looked like to me, but it is actually imitation horn is what this is supposed to be. If you look in the catalog, it's called imitation horn. Beautiful though. And then found it in a jackknife too, so I couldn't resist that. This is not in the best shape, but I couldn't resist having some more of this stuff in the collection. And of course, this is this is a little idea. You grab it right here and you open it up. Makes it easy to open the knife. And look, this is Schrades Cutlery. Still has the etching on it. This thing's in mint condition. Schrades Cutlery Company. Electric steel. Really neat. Small example of these assisted opening type knives. This one is in mint condition. It's a machined Schrades Cutlery Company knife. And all original. Still has the etching. Still has the original polish on it. Just incredible. And then this is a really cool one here. It's a sleeve bore pattern penknife. Really cool. Hey, there you go. Beautiful knives. So I'm fortunate to have a lot of unusual knives in this sub collection. And a lot of them are just really beautiful. Look at that jig bone. Really, really nice. Here's another one. Jigged bone. Now Schrades Walden used a lot of their jigging is not bone. They used a lot of wood. It's really hard to tell the difference. If you look at this knife right here, it looks like jigged bone, but when you turn it over, it's been worn off, and that is wood. You can see right there where they jigged the wood. And you can kind of pick that out because, you know, wood just doesn't have the same hues that the bone do when you're collecting them. But they're fun to collect. So that's the thing I love about Schrades. They're inexpensive to get. There's tons of different patterns, colors, scale materials. They're very interesting. There's a lot of information out there on them. It's easy to find that information. And it's one of my favorite knives to collect. And I've got a pretty good collection. Like I said, almost all of these are individual patterns. So they're not repeated. This is one you don't see very often. Kind of looks like a Camillus. I think this is the 863. Yeah, 863. So it's a carpenter pattern, saber grind on it, and it looks a lot like that Camillus pattern. Yeah, but it is not. You don't see that very often either. Another scarce pattern. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope there's so many here. I just can't take the time to run through all these knives. You know, Schrade. You're talking Schrade Cutlery to Schrade Walden. In 1959, they started putting out the old timer knives, and then shortly after that, they put out the Uncle Henry knives. I'm trying to find it. Uncle Henry brand. And then these knives like here are called open stock knives. They just look like regular knives. And these Schrade Walden knives produced between 1947 to 1973 are just fantastic quality. So well worth your time collecting them. And then, of course, you know, the future. So, you know, right now they're still being produced. I think they're producing over 80 different models. Smith & Wesson is, so you need to check those out. All right, appreciate you guys watching, supporting the channel. Man, I thank you guys so much for tuning in.